Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Touchdowns with Mac and Ron.
We're a little late on this episode, folks. We do apologize for that.
Yeah, we both got very busy, with work and stuff.
Oh, amen, brother.
And we both had some stuff going on, so, it's been nearly 7 months since we did an episode, but a lot's happened since the last episode we had.
My mom is cancer-free. That is good.
Congratulations.
Thank
but
you.
let's introduce ourselves first. I'm Matt Gilbert, for those who don't know.
I'm Ron Cumberland. Thank you very much.
All right, Matt Gilbert, Ron Cumberland. I think we're clear. But yeah, a lot has definitely happened since our last episode. It was the day after Ohio State lost to Michigan. We both said Ryan Day was
out.
We said he was going to be fired.
Yes.
But I think he proved us all wrong. He marched into the playoffs, did what we said he needed to do to save his job.
Amen.
He won a championship.
Amen. Do we have to acknowledge the Super Bowl?
I think we do. We do have to acknowledge it.
Go Philadelphia!
But let's talk about the college one first. The Buckeyes beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Amen.
That was a good game, and very happy for Ryan Day. I don't know what's going to happen from here with Michigan, but he definitely gets at least another year, and he'll go down in history as a coach that brought another championship to Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, sir. Ryan Day.
Do you think you have to put him up in the Mount Rushmore with Ohio State coaches?
Not yet.
Because there are only three I can think of that might be better than him. Woody Hayes. Jim Trussell.
Yep, Jim Trussell.
And Urban Meyer.
But he's getting there.
He's getting there, but I also think he has to beat Michigan at least one time to get there.
You forgot Cooper. The Cooper era.
I did forget about Cooper.
He won a lot of games, but he had the same issue. He had the same Achilles heel. So if he starts beating Michigan, he can go up there. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So, yep, Ohio State beats the Irish. Now let's talk about the big game, the Super Bowl.
Everybody
Eagles,
thought it was going to be Kansas City marching in and winning. They got old. Oh, poor Patrick Mahomes.
I'm actually kind of happy about that because people mentioned that
You can't see my happiness? He didn't win.
I know. You're very happy.
My Niners were supposed to win. They broke down halfway through the season. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting off track.
People say that the Chiefs are the dynasty of the day, and they are. But I feel like the Eagles are also a very quiet dynasty. They've been in 3 Super Bowls in the last 6 or 7 years.
This is true.
They've won 2 of them.
This is true.
With 2 different quarterbacks and 2 different coaches, might I ask.
Also true. They know how to spend money. They know how to win.
Yes, they do. So now let's talk about the big thing that we wanted to talk about in this episode. That is the draft.
That means absolutely nothing in real life. I'll prove it to you.
What do you think of the draft this year? Do you think
I thought overall it was a good draft. So
I did, but
I can't complain.
I'm going to say we'll start with the number 1 pick. I want to talk about Cameron Ward a little bit.
Okay.
I kind of think this guy's going to be an average to above average quarterback at best. That is just me, though. We shall see, but I just don't. I really wasn't excited thinking this guy's going to be the next everything.
Do you know where the Ohio State running backs fell to? Which teams got them?
The running backs or the quarterback?
Well, Will Howard too, but I was talking about the running backs that each got over 1,000 yards for that championship team.
I don't know where the running backs went, but I know where the quarterback went.
Well, you go first.
Quarterback went to Pittsburgh. I think I respect the Steelers, and let me say this. I think that's going to be a good pick for them. I think Will Howard is going to come into the league the way Tom Brady and Kurt Warner came in the league. And Brock Purdy, even. I'll throw Brock Purdy in there, too. Last round pick. I think he's going to come in, and I think he's going to be...
You said the draft is important. We should talk about high picks. What was Brock Purdy's pick?
He was Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft.
Now, let's go to the Mount Rushmore of wide receivers. Remember when I said I was going to prove to you the draft doesn't mean much? I'm going to prove this to you right
Jerry
now.
Rice is the best wide receiver to ever play the game, and he was
not. No, he was not drafted.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Good
boy, Mac.
You actually make a good point. Tom Brady was drafted in the last round of the draft.
Tom Brady, there you go.
He is. You could argue he is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. You can argue it. I know this 49ers fan.
Cheaters. We do not acknowledge cheaters in my world. Twice. Tom Brady, can we have your phone? Into the water it goes. You can fish it out and recover. You can have anything you want.
Oh my God! But this guy thinks Joe Montana was
4 Super Bowls.
I
The GOAT.
I actually think Joe
When he
Montana has the case.
When he retired, he had his best year number-wise. And it was only because his wife said it's time to put down the football and spend time with your family.
And he listened to his wife, and I respect him for that.
And I respect him greatly for that.
Another guy who I actually think does have a good case.
Oh, you say Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Yes.
I think there's a guy who unfortunately did not win a Super Bowl ring, but I think if he did win one, he would have been the GOAT,
yes,
hands down.
Yes.
Pure talent-wise,
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino is quickest release ever.
Amen, brother.
Most come from behind wins ever.
Most yardage, or is that title?
Most touchdowns ever, I think, at the time of his retirement, and he had the most yards at the time of his retirement too. And you got to also remember, Dan Marino didn't have the team around him. Like, he didn't have the star wide receivers. He didn't have the running backs.
With that.
Pure quarterback play.
You can make a case for Dan Marino.
Pure quarterback play. I'm gonna say Dan Marino is
the GOAT.
Yes, and I'll even go up and say this. No one's gonna agree with me on this. Dan Marino's a better quarterback than John Elway.
Amen.
Dan Marino's a better quarterback than John Elway. I always say Dan Marino's not the GOAT because I just feel like, unfortunately, I think you just need one ring to at least to be in that category. But I mean, for what this guy did, for the little talent he had around him, was amazing. And being a Cleveland boy, I mean, I was happy when LeBron James won that championship.
Yes, sir.
Dan Marino could have done something LeBron did, and that is go from team to team to chase a championship.
He did not.
He did not do that. He chose to be loyal to the Miami Dolphins his whole career.
I give you credit there.
And
you're right.
To change the subject completely, even being like in basketball, a part of me thinks it might have been better for LeBron's legacy to just remain a Cav his whole career, and even if it meant 0-1 championships.
I agree.
I mean, if he just won that one,
and
stayed here, just let's say he went 1-9, and just stayed here his whole career.
I agree. It would have been better.
He would have had. I mean, people would have the people who love and respect him would have respected him the
more,
same.
And he would have that. And he would have. And he wouldn't.
And people would not bash him the way they do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, people would not say like, oh, this LeBron guy, he goes from team to team, he chases championships, goes from team to team, and only won this many rings. Well, if he had stayed in Cleveland, he would.
In fairness, all I'm gonna say is the first time, not the second time. I don't mind if you go chasing championships. It doesn't bother me. How many players had an hour special on ESPN? Prime time.
I have to say this, and this is a downfall of him. He's the only athlete in the history of sports to do that.
Thank you. That's why. That's another reason why people bash him. Because when he was younger, forgive me for saying this, LeBron, I love you dearly. Come back to Cleveland. We would still want you. He was in head case.
I agree.
But the second time, he was honest. My family wants to move to LA. I have a good chance of winning a championship. They're going to pay me the money. Thank you and have a great day. I've heard that many times being a Cleveland fan, and I've never held resentment against, well, maybe one Albert Bell. You probably don't know that name.
Oh, I do know that name very well. And
okay, maybe two. I lied. There's another, but he's not really an athlete. Two more names, but the same team. Art Modell and somebody else you mentioned from that team. Art Modell is the owner of the Cleveland Browns. I'll help you.
Bill Belichick.
Yes, thank you. But I won't knock Bernie Kosar, another Cleveland fan.
Yes, well, but yeah, back to what we were talking about though. That's one thing I definitely respect Marino for. I mean, he stayed with the same team his whole career. Did not go to the GM saying, "Hey, get me talent or I'm out of here." Just went with the flow. Did the best he could with the team they got for him, and at the time, I mean, set many records, and I mean, those records would still stand if it weren't for rule changes.
You're right. I agree. I totally agree with you.
So let's talk. I want to talk about what the Dolphins did in the draft. I kind of think they did get some good picks. They got a defensive end that they needed, and they got an offense lineman that they needed badly. And those are kind of the two weak points on the Dolphins, I think.
Browns got a running back, Trayvon Henderson, and they got a quarterback.
They got two quarterbacks, Owen Gabriel from Oregon, and they got
Sanders.
And they got Sanders. I don't think it was smart getting two quarterbacks, but let me tell you, that trade that for the second round pick that the Jaguars got Travis Hunter in, that trade was a masterpiece for the Browns.
Oh, I agree.
I have to give them that.
Now we have to win more than 3 games.
Because now you're going to have Mason Graham alongside Myles Garrett.
Yes, sir.
Mason Graham is going to spark that defense up.
Yes, sir. I agree.
And I still think Jim Schwartz is a good defensive coach. He just gets them a little too excited. So make some noise for the Browns this year. I don't think they're going to only win 3 games. I don't think they're going to have a winning season. If I'm going to make my prediction about the Browns, it's going to be 6-11.
I think they're 9-7. It is a weak division.
I think the Dolphins could possibly win 10 games if everyone stays healthy.
Yes. And my Niners are back next year, folks.
They got a decent quarterback, but I still don't know, because what scares me with the Dolphins is if Tua with his concussions, if Tua goes down,
they go down.
They go down.
Yes.
And I said it before, I'll say it again. Big mistake not bringing Tannehill back last year, because Tannehill could have won a couple of those close games early on.
Correct.
They were an 8-9 team. With Tannehill, they would have got at least 2 W's on the board, been 10-7. That's good enough to go to the playoffs.
Amen, brother.
Even 9-8 is good enough to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, actually, I'm quoting. I said 9-6. Yeah, 10-7. I think Browns could win 10 games.
Yep. So it's.
But hey, I say that every year, so we shall see.
I think the Niners could be good this year if everyone stays healthy. But what scares me about the Niners, though, McCaffrey is getting older. He's had injuries in the past. I mean, it might just be that time. Like, running backs don't last forever. Do you think McCaffrey could be washed, or do you think
if he stays healthy, I think he could be a top tier. I think he'd be a top 10. But I'm biased. I admit.
Yeah, I'd love to see him come back and be a top 10. Brock Purdy, I think, is a very good quarterback, but he lost everybody last year.
Yes, he did. He was even hurt.
So you can't blame last year on Brock Purdy.
Oh, no.
Chiefs are getting a little older. Tampa, I think, could make a run for it next year. Baker did get another receiver, so.
You're just trying to hit my buttons in this last broadcast.
Oh yeah, I am. Baker did get another receiver.
Another head case.
He changed his ways, buddy. He changed his ways. He's been good in Tampa so far. 2 good seasons.
You gotta look at those numbers, and we'll get back to you on that. Oh, let's look at him right now. I have a phone.
Oh my God! He's gonna look at them, and they are gonna be exact. 41 touchdowns this year.
Quiet.
41 touchdowns.
Quiet.
41 touchdowns. He only does, as he said in the first episode, the only reason he hates Baker is because
many reasons I hate Baker.
No, because when he was injured, he didn't sit.
Okay, and I think everybody would agree with me.
I'm waiting to hear this. This is going to be good. But Baker does have another receiver this year, so I think that it could be.
Damn it.
The Bucs could be a team to watch out for, and that's
he was a top 5 quarterback. You're right.
And that is not that is the easiest division. So I think I'm expecting the Buccaneers to win 11 or 12 games this year. I'm dead serious.
You know who number 1 was?
You're not gonna. It wasn't.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, but I'm asking you to guess.
Number 1 was Josh Allen. That's easy. Joe Burrow.
There you go. I'm glad that was so easy for you.
Oh my God. But yeah, Joe Burrow. I mean, that's another team that I really feel like if they would just build
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If they would just build an O-line in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow would be a perennial MVP. Plain and simple.
Not that I don't disrespect Josh Allen, but look, he's way down there. I mean, still 3,500 yards is good.
It is. I don't really know who I could see like going all the way this upcoming year. As a matter of fact, we kind of have to see. This is definitely going to be our last episode this season,
Yes,
so we'll see what more moves come up during the off season. We have to still see where Aaron Rodgers goes. We have to still see if Nick Chubb comes back.
Yep.
There's still a lot of off season left that we have to see, and then we'll make our prediction. But with that being said, that's going to conclude it for this episode and this first season of Talking Touchdowns with Mac and Ron. We will be back in August or September for season number 2.
Amen, brother.
So, Ron, it was. I know we joke around a lot, but it was an honor being on the show with you this season.
It was an honor being with you.
I know we've talked about doing this for years, and it was.
Yes,
I'm glad we finally got to do this. So, with that being said, for those just tuning in, this is Matt Gilbert.
This is Ron Cumberland.
Saying good night, and as always, keep watching football.
Amen. # not my guardians.